Any belief system can be made dangerous. So the question isn't, are you going to be exclusive in your beliefs? The question is, what will you be exclusive about? Welcome to Cross Carry, where we talk about how to take up your cross and follow Jesus in 2024. Many people would say that the belief that one religion is true and all other religions are false is destructive and wicked. It's easy to see how we would maybe believe this because in our day-to-day lives, we run into a lot of different people who believe a lot of different things. And we actually care about a lot of those people. If you go to work, you have colleagues that believe very different things from you. And yet you work together and you trust each other and you care about each other as you work together on your team. Or if you go to the grocery store, you run into neighbors who believe different things than you do, but you all live in the same neighborhood and you care about each other and want to make sure that everybody's families are good and well. And so sometimes we can feel like we need to adopt this belief that all faiths are equal and all faiths are true in order to prevent some sort of disruption in those relationships. And it is true that the belief that one religion is true and all others are false has been used for great evil in human history. That is true. It's also true that the statement that no religions are true or that all religions are true have been used to work great evil in the history of humanity. So I don't want to downplay that either. But I just want to point out, if you label that as destructive, you have labeled 4.3 billion people as wicked, destructive, immoral people. And that's just the Christians and Muslims, because we all hold to exclusive belief systems. So out of 8 billion people, you have just judged half the world's population. And maybe rightfully so, but I just want you to think about that for a second. Everybody is exclusive about something. Any belief system can be made dangerous. And it's not a solution to just say that everything is the same or that everything is equal. We're all going to be exclusive about something one way or another, whether we like it or not. And so the question isn't, are you going to be exclusive in your beliefs? The question is, what will you be exclusive about? I want to take a second to think through why, at least for me, Christianity is something worth being exclusive about, that Jesus is worth being exclusive about. The first reason is that the teachings of Jesus and Christianity are old. This is not a new fad. It's not some new, cultural zeitgeist that's coming on us or a new way of thinking. And I hear a lot of people make the statement that, well, all religions have to be, equal and no one religion is right. And they say that, and I question, where did that belief come from? Is that something that someone told you? Is that something that you researched and you came to that conclusion? Is it something that you thought of when you were watching a sunset with your friends, right? Whatever it is, I need to know how you justify that truth claim, because all of us are going to live and die for something. We'll find at the end of our lives that we have lived and died for something. Sometimes we don't necessarily bring that out, and we're not fully aware of what we're living for, but we're living and dying for something. And so if I'm going to base my life on something, if I'm going to trust my eternity to something, I want to know how you justify it. I want to know how you came to know that truth and what it stands on, because I'm going to bet my life on it if it's true. And I find with a lot of new fad religious thinking that it's a little vapid. So I don't really want to base my life on that. I want to base my life on something that's old. The interesting thing about Christianity is also that it happened in community. It didn't happen with just one individual. And so if someone tells me that they had a religious experience and that they saw God or they saw angels or they saw, 1,000 gods, or they, morphed into part of the universe, that's great. I don't really know how to relate to that. And the beauty of Christianity is that it wasn't an individual experience. It starts as early as Moses in the Old Testament, because Christianity builds upon Judaism. And so it starts with things like God bringing 10 miraculous, really big plagues on Egypt. Like, we're talking the whole known world hears about what's happened kind of plagues. And you see that happen where God is walking with his people, the Jews, and then the Jews are taking all of these experiences that they have with God and they're writing them down for a couple thousand years. So there's this collective experience of God in community where they're encountering this transcendent eternal God. And then Christianity builds on that, where with the early church, they very quickly wrote things down to capture what the life of Jesus was and what Jesus said and what he did and how he was raised from the dead. And as it says in the book of Acts, these things were not done in a corner. So it's not just one person's thoughts or my crazy thoughts or somebody's thoughts because, they ate some funny mushrooms or they ate the bad cheese last night. This is the collective experience of the people of God over several thousand years and that people are still experiencing today in community. So I can put my faith in that because it's not just me. It's not just in my head. It's not just something that one person thought of. The other neat thing about Christianity is that it's open source. If somebody makes a truth claim about what is true and what Christianity teaches, I can go to the Bible and I can look up what Jesus said because they're working with the same material. So, it helps take care of some of the stranger spiritual experiences that people may have and may or may not be true because people experience a lot of things and sometimes that's right in line with reality and sometimes it's not so much right in line with reality. But Christianity is open source, so I can go look up truth. There's not a person I have to go through to get the truth. I'm able to just go to the Bible. I'm able to go to historical writings that have been preserved and I can look at what those say. That's a really beautiful thing, and it's not something that's present in all religions. So you're able to question, you're able to engage it. I love that about Christianity because I can engage my mind with it. And then the other thing about Christianity is it is unique in offering assurance of salvation. There is no other religious system that both says that there is evil, which must be judged, and that you can have complete assurance that you have peace with God. The only way that Christianity does that is it says that Jesus lived such a perfect life that, being without evil and without sin, he was, in fact, crucified for that and took our place. And so therefore, even though we've made mistakes, Jesus is able to satisfy the wrath of God that way. And if you put your faith in him, then you receive that and you receive those blessings. There's no other faith that says that you can have assurance. Everything is about what you do if evil is to be judged, or it's that God just doesn't care and that nothing is going to be judged. And for me, that doesn't really work out so well because I want to live in a just world. Jesus made Christianity exclusive when he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's a very exclusive claim. But I just want to point out that it's not an evil claim. It's not a destructive claim. It's a very important claim. And as you think about what you're living and dying for today, I'd encourage you to take up your cross and follow Jesus with me today because he alone has the keys to eternal life.